Good afternoon. This is your daily message for today. This would be August 2nd, 2013. My name is Chip Taylor, coming to you from beautiful Melitopol, Ukraine. And the daily reading for today is from Leviticus, starting with chapter 23. And it starts, "The Lord said to Moses, These are the festivals of the Lord, which you shall celebrate at their proper time with a sacred assembly. The Passover of the Lord falls on the 14th day of the first month, at the evening twilight. The 5th day of this month is the Lord's feast of unleavened bread. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first of these days you shall hold a sacred assembly, and do no sort of work. On each of the 7 days you shall offer an oblation to the Lord. Then on the 7th day you shall again hold a sacred assembly, and do no sort of work. The Lord said to Moses, Speak to the children of Israel, and tell them, when they come into the land which I am giving you, reap your harvest, and you reap your harvest. You shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest, who shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, and it may be acceptable for you. On the day after the Sabbath the priest shall do this. Beginning with the first day after the Sabbath, the day on which you bring wave offering sheaf, you shall count 7 full weeks. And then on the first day after the 7th week, the 15th day, you shall present the new cereal offering to the Lord. The 10th of this 7th month is the day of atonement, in which, when you shall hold a sacred assembly, and mortify yourself, and offer an oblation to the Lord. The 15th day of the 7th month is the Lord's feast of booths, which shall continue for 7 days. On the first day there shall be a sacred assembly, and you shall do no sort of work. For 7 days you shall offer an oblation to the Lord. On the 8th day you shall again hold a sacred assembly, and offer an oblation to the Lord. On that solemn closing you shall do no sort of work. These, therefore, are the festivals of the Lord, on which you shall proclaim the sacred assembly, and offer as oblation to the Lord burnt offerings and cereal offerings, sacrifices and libations, as prescribed for each day. Now, first of all, we have the festival of Passover, which is certainly observed in the Catholic Church, observed in a lot of churches, and the unleavened bread representing the bread that was made by the Hebrews as they fled Egypt, and the Passover obviously being the Passover of the death angel from the Lord, and you were to put blood on the lintels of the house around your door so the angel would pass over. And then it talks about giving first fruits, which is tithing. And then it talks about the Day of Atonement, which in the Catholic Church we have confession. And again it talks about festivals to the Lord, which proclaim the sacred assembly and making other offerings. And so you have tithing, and then you have other offerings, which is all observed in the Catholic Church, but in a lot of churches, a lot of different denominations, but trace their origins back to the original law from God to Moses in the book of Leviticus. That's a pretty old tradition. Obviously the Lord made atonement for us, Jesus Christ did, and obviously we no longer are sanctified or saved by our ability to follow the law. but the observance of the festivals is certainly prescribed by God to Moses and is passed down to us today. This has been your daily message for today. Today being August 2nd, 2013. My name is Chip Taylor. Have a blessed day and come back and see me tomorrow.